Hey YouTube, what's going on? ZeroMagnumX here. This is going to be the first installment of looking at Granblues. That's what I'm going to call it. And this first one's going to be an overall discussion of certain cards, what I think is useful, what I think could be better for the strategy. The first thing I want to say is for anyone who plays Yu-Gi-Oh! And has taken the Vanguard, Granblues are basically what were zombie swarms. That's how the deck plays, but it's a self-sustaining strategy, which technically makes it a little bit better and viable. But I'm going to go over a few cards in the deck that are essential, a few cards where I think that they can be used, and a few cards maybe that are overlooked when building. Okay, from my understanding, the first thing I want to go over is BassKirk. All the decks center around him. All the decks tend to be make him the bomb and counterblast 5 and do 8. But I honestly feel like that is almost counterintuitive to the way the deck works. I say this because of cards like Night Spirit, who counterblasts for 1 and allows you to bring him back. The same thing with Captain Night Mist. You have to counterblast 1 and bring him back. With that in mind, getting to 5 counterblasts without heals is going to be really, really difficult to drop something like BassKirk. I think, personally, considering grade 3s, I'm going over this first. Necromarrow and Spirit Exceed might end up being more beneficial as rearguard and vanguard cards to target. I think he is a very cool boss monster, but really I think that things like Spirit Exceed are overlooked to get him in the drop zone if you don't have your grade 3 in hand and get into him. And Necromarrow, where you can bring stuff back. I know BassKirk is the go-to guy, but honestly, getting his ultimate off, you have to set up for it, and where that's not a bad strategy, it kind of goes against the deck not having the ability to reverse the counterblast damage cards like Nova Grapplers have. Alright, other cards that I think need a second look that are said that are bad are Dancing Cutlasses. I don't personally like them, but if we're going to get away from the BassKirk strategy, this can in fact give you draw power. So it's something to consider if you're going to get away from that. Also, if you're going to get away from BassKirk strategy, he is okay. I mean, his counterblast is 3 to ride it, and there's no other specific requirements but to counterblast 3, so you can pitch him to the graveyard, have your, grade 2 out, counterblast 3, and put him onto the field. It's something to consider. Likewise, cards that might be overused. Okay, Ruin Shade. Really, really powerful, really good card, really strong, but it might mill you out too quickly and it might mess with your triggers too much. The fact that to get her to 11,000, you have to mill 2. It kind of hurts if you're going to play this card in the same deck, which is Evil Shade. The difference between these two is that she only has her own effect for herself and is an interceptor for a base of 5,000. That's all she does. Evil Shade, on the other hand, is a base of 6,000 to boost for and can take him up to 10,000 for the same basic cost and boost your vanguards, and outside of Kageros can be safe in your rear guards and blaster blades. So this guy can really be the coup de grace, so to speak, for Granblues. And it's a common as opposed to what I believe is a triple R rare, whatever that means. Likewise, this guy is pretty good overall. If you guys, this is just to add in, if you guys are starting to look at Granblues, I'd probably take a look at Guiding Zombie as your starting Vanguard if you don't know anything about the game and you like graveyard-based zombie decks. For any other card games you play, this is where I would start. So get him, he's a common, he's pretty good. His ability to soul charge himself into the zone and then mill 3 can also be beneficial too. Alright guys, so that's the first installment of looking at Granblues. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm a new player, but I'm kind of looking at the strategies and overall whole. And when I get more experience, I can give more feedback with the deck. Peace, YouTube.